So I got an advice request, I got a question from someone who goes by, well, it's at the head of their email, Free G. Just call you G. Alright, G? And this is what they said. They said, "Your YouTube videos have opened my mind. I've gained a lot more knowledge on life. I was wondering if you could make a video on loneliness and being trapped. And maybe some advice on how to deal with people that you have to live with, that you don't really want to be around, because they give you negative vibes, and they never helped you when you needed them most. Thank you." Negative vibes. Well, Free G, whatever your real name is, what you're asking is really a two-part thing. So excuse me if I'm long-winded. But what you're asking, to put it simply, to put it into one question, a one-sentence question, is how do I deal with people who make me feel alone and unappreciated? How do I deal with people who make me feel alone and unappreciated, right? These people are unresourceful to you. They do not help you. So here's where you're at. Free G, you're in a nest that you had no choice of being in. This is a nest, right? Just like birds have their nest, just like wolves have their den. Now I'm assuming what you're talking about is maybe your family. You don't like people in your family that you have to live with. Or maybe you went to college and you got forced to be with a roommate, some roommates you don't like, right? You're in a nest. You're in a den that you had no choice of being in, clearly, because I assume if you had the choice, you would get the fuck out of there, right? But because of your circumstances, because of legal reasons, perhaps you cannot just go. Or your circumstances where, you can't just go live out on the streets, right? If you do have an option, if you legally can escape the custody of your family or whatever faculty of people have you under them, if you have the ability to, if there is such a possibility, I would work on that day after day, finding your way out. Because if this is of a great importance to you to feel appreciated, to have help when you need it, because I'm assuming you're giving your energy up. I talked about this in the apathy video, how to deal with people who lack proper enthusiasm. When you are continuously, I'm assuming you did, give positive energy in their direction, you gave them something and they gave you nothing, then that's setting yourself up to be broken down. And you're already in the process of doing this, I can tell. You're feeling lonely and trapped. Because these people aren't showing appreciating, in a way, they're being ignorant towards you. Ignorant towards your qualities. Because someone who asks that kind of question has something to offer. And they notice that no one really cares. And when they notice that no one cares, that means they know that there's something that they can offer. But they're not given a chance. So the first thing I would offer, if you have the possibility to, I would work on leaving this nest, this bird's nest, this wolf's den, this thing you fell into because of your circumstances. If it is without barriers, if there may be a border, but if there's a way that you can bypass that border to a better place, to start working on a new place. I'm not saying go live on the streets or do anything irresponsible, but I would recommend definitely to work on your life. And now, being alone, as I've talked in 2 different videos about, it always comes up, you feel lonely. People are their most productive when they feel alone because you are experiencing neglect. Whether, some people interpret it in different ways, but you, in your situation, are interpreting that behavior that they're giving you, that negative energy that they're putting towards you. You call them vibes, vibrations that they're placing upon you, right? You're interpreting them that way, and that's, in your eyes, neglect. You are being neglected. My advice to you, if you cannot leave, if you cannot leave and you have to stay in this den with these people, with these animals, amongst them being the black sheep, the person who is not in on the inside jokes, who's not a part of it all, who's looked on as the one who's not supposed to be appreciated because they have nothing to offer in these animals' eyes, right? If you cannot escape that, for now, at some point I'm sure you could. I'm sure you're not locked down with shackles, right? They don't have you pinned to a wall. You have the ability at some point. But for now, if you cannot, begin to construct your plan. This sounds very deep. Begin to construct your plan. And that plan would go something like this. It would go, stop looking for their approval, for their positive energy to come. Because clearly it hasn't came in a while. I'm sure it hasn't, because you've been dealing this for a while. You wouldn't ask about it. It's been coming for a while, this negative vibes you're talking about, this loneliness that's coming upon you because you feel so excluded because of it. You feel trapped in this den and no one understands you. You have no one to communicate with because they're just, when you do communicate with them, it's just negativity. It's just disapproval. It's no appreciation whatsoever. Stop looking for it. These people, these animals, clearly, are not going to give it to you. So begin to learn. Watch my video about being alone. Begin to learn to appreciate being alone. And that is when you'll become your most productive, and stop being preoccupied with their energy that you're waiting for. Hug yourself. Be alone. Learn to exist in the jail, the prison that you're in. Because inmates, what do? They start to write. They start to work out. They do these things, and they don't panic. They just do it because that's all they have. And they work with it. Now, work with it. Construct your plan. Start writing. What are you going to do when you're out of here? What could you do right now while you're in this loneliness to improve your life when you escape? When you escape this den that you don't like being in. I'm not saying it's like prison. Prison's much worse. But it's relative to different people, of course. I'm not denying that, right? You're not in prison. But you feel trapped. So focus, hug yourself, focus on your plan. What are you going to do? Do you want to learn an instrument? I'm sure you can go out and buy one. I'm sure if you could work up some money to buy an instrument, maybe you could learn to play an instrument. And guess what? They don't need to be there for you to learn how to play an instrument. You'll continuously work on yourself. And when you start to build yourself, build, you'll start building yourself up and becoming more of a whole character. And they'll notice these people that you're with in the den might start being like, hey, he's not really trying anymore with us. He's starting to really work on himself. He's becoming something special. He's becoming something good. And when they notice that, they'll start giving a little positive energy towards you. Granted, it will be fake because they want something out of you, of course, now. But you'll notice that's what people do in social situations, society. That's what they do, right? It's natural. Work on yourself. Be okay with being alone. Learn to live in your trap. in this den that you don't like being in with these animals that show no appreciation. Stop searching for their appreciation. Stop searching for them to notice. Stop waiting for their positive energy to come towards you. Hey man, you're great. Stop waiting for that. Don't look for it. And when they give you negative things, like when you start trying to do whatever you're doing, plan for your future and plan or learn an instrument, whatever the hell you're doing. Oh, you can't learn an instrument, man. Give that shit up. You're never going to be able to do that. Well, just continue to. Say, great. Thanks for your input, but I'm going to continue doing this. That will drive them crazy. But remember, it's about you. Don't go into this with any sort of motive of manipulating them, because that's what they're already doing to you. Work on yourself. And I promise, by the end of it, not only will you be a more developed person, but you'll have also proven whatever thoughts they had about you wrong. Good luck, man.